Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. And here we have some Pauper, another format that Brainstorm is legal in, and we've got Mono Black Devotion versus Burn. Really excited to be testing out some Pauper decks, having some fun with this format. My nieces and nephews are getting involved in Magic, and this seems like a perfect power level and price point for younger people, as well as people who are just looking to mix up some explosively powerful games, without necessarily having a single deck locked in. So a format like Legacy, that can be a little tough to have every deck in the format, whereas in Pauper, you can have quite a few decks for not a lot of money. So far, we have Dylan with Burn, pinging end of turn, and following it up with Needle Drop. That's actually going to allow him to draw an extra card, and every little bit counts with Burn here. He's trying to assemble lethal damage. Lightning Bolt's taking out that Chittering Rats, but the damage from Chittering Rats is done. It denies Dylan a card, puts a card on top of his deck, making him essentially miss his draw step. And Unearth on Chittering Rats, brutal. And Victim of Night is going to clear the board here for Dylan. He's going to get a little bit left with the pinging. But that uses a significant amount of resources. And we have kind of stalled out. This very much favors Mono Black from here, a high life total. And he's actually willing to trade a little bit of life here for card advantage. Burn now on a 5-turn clock, 1 card in hand. This game is looking absolutely abysmal for Dylan. He is going to need... Oh, certainly not Chittering Rats. That's not going to help. He's down a card. It didn't help him last turn. Not going to help him this turn. Chain Lightning electing to take out Phyrexian Rager. Sign in Blood. You know things are going bad when your opponent is using Sign in Blood and you're on Burn. Kumbaj, I believe it's pronounced Witches, and Cycle of Barrenmore. See what direction Kyle wants to take. It can really go any which way. Oh, we see Gray Merchant on the front. That's going to do it right there. How about gaining back 8 life there? Finishing the game at 19 versus Burn. Certainly a one-sided beatdown there. We'll see what Burn's able to do games 2 and 3. If he is able to force a game 3. So Mono Black Devotion. That list has a lot of creature removal, of course. In terms of control, you're more controlling the board than the stack. You also have elements of disrupting their hand. Duress out of the sideboard, certainly strong in this type of matchup. Depending on your metagame, a card that I haven't seen a lot of, Farika's Curse. There are a few, I believe Soren's Thirst is another one that's very similar to that. There are some cards that are 2 black to do 2 damage and gain 2 life. That type of card could be a consideration, depending on the type of threats that Burn is running. But Burn does seem like an automatic front runner in this Pauper format that I'm just starting to discover. Of course, it really isn't that different than Legacy Burn. The creatures are much worse. You don't have Price of Progress either. But aside from that, I mean, you've got Chain Lightning, Lava Spike, Rift Bolt, of course, Lightning Bolt, Fire Blast. Just a ton of high-quality burn spells at your disposal. All of them are at common at one point or another. See how Dylan goes here on the play. Burn can finish the game in 3 or 4 turns pretty easily. Fire Blast giving that extra reach. And we've got a uncut card here that's actually going to just draw some removal. Left unchecked, that would have accumulated a lot of extra damage. Every time an instant or sorcery would be played, an extra point of damage would happen. Victim of Night taking out that first copy. And Sign in Blood. Finding that third land drop. Pestilence on the other side of the hand. Two damage coming in. And Curse of the Pierced Heart. Going to be a type of clock, so a lot harder to remove. I mean, Mono Black Devotion not going to get this off the board. I mean, it is a 14-turn clock. I'm sure there's going to be other cards that can help speed that up. And Chainer's Edict, so difficult to make creatures stick versus this mono black deck. Needle Drop is active thanks to Curse of the Pierced Heart, and allow the cycling through 1 damage at a time. There's Lava Spike, just 3 more 3 damage spells to finish this off. A couple of Fire Blasts would do it if there's another mountain. There's a Rager. And Magma Jet, recently printed at Common. Uncommon for a long time. That is a fun thing about Pauper, is every time a new set comes out, the question is what has been shifted down to Common. We've seen rares demoted all the way down into this format, and there is the Searing Blood and a Chain Lightning closing out game number 2 pretty rapidly there for Burn. So very different playing games there. This time black on the play. Gray Merchant undoes a lot of work. We'll see if those Chittering Rats can show back up. Deny some card advantage, or create some card advantage, I suppose, for black. Maybe see some duresses coming in. My current game plan for Pauper is constructing 1 deck for each color to mess around with. So black, Devotion, red, Burn, a white weenie deck, Elves, Urzatron for blue. It is really the only control deck in the format. A few exceptions, but for the most part, by far the most popular. Curse of the Pierced Heart. Going to start chipping away. And Read the Bones. Scry 2, draw 2. And they're good enough to keep. That is interesting. See if this creature sticks around. And it does not. That's Death's Verdict and a Sign in Blood. Not that far away from Gray Merchant coming online. Got Lava Spike. 11 points of damage. Starting to get into the danger zone here. There's the Witches cycling second. Not the best use of mana here. We'll see how this goes. Playing Forgotten Cave. Searing Blaze. 3 damage. Down to just 7. And Gray Merchant does come down here. No sense in waiting around on that. Looks like perhaps another Gray Merchant in hand. So next turn, if it... Oh, Lightning Bolt. Oh, next turn's looking pretty dicey at this point. A Chain Lightning and a Lava Spike, and that's going to close it out. Gray Merchant ready to come back down, but there's still plenty of burn. Dylan shows it. Check out all these. And that is it with Burn taking down Mono Black Control. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please help grow the channel by subscribing. You'll be notified when we upload new videos like Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic with commentary, or Untapped, our raw tournament gameplay. Thanks for watching.